Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to your daily dose of the most urgent, unsettling, and absolutely vital conversations happening in the world of reality television and beyond. Today, we're not just discussing a single contestant's departure, we're delving into a controversy that has exposed something truly ugly about our current online culture. We're talking about the recent removal of Cierra from Peacock's hugely popular Love Island USA, and how a racial slur resurfacing led to a whirlwind of public outcry, the show's slow response on a terrifyingly toxic aftermath. This story isn't just about a TV show. It's a chilling mirror reflecting the darker side of modern fandom and the devastating power of online mob mentality. The sun-drenched villa of Peacock's uber-popular reality dating show, Love Island USA, prides itself on being a haven for romance, drama, and lighthearted fun. But recently, a dark cloud descended over the island, forcing the show, its producers, and its fervent fan base to confront a deeply uncomfortable reality. New on with Sunday night's episode, viewers witnessed a swift, almost clinical departure. Cierra, a 25-year-old contestant who would quickly become a fan favorite and a front runner, was seen getting up with her fellow castmates in the morning. Shortly after, the narrator's voiceover delivered a chillingly vague announcement. Cierra has left the villa due to a personal situation. Her name was uttered only a few more times for the remainder of the episode, and the male contestant she had spent the past month coupled up with quickly moved on with another woman. Within the confines of the TV show, Cierra was, as the article so poignantly puts it, swiftly and effectively memory hold. For the casual offline viewer, this vague explanation, personal situation, might have suggested anything from a family emergency to a sudden illness. But for anyone with even the faintest connection to the Love Island USA fandom on social media, the real reason was immediately clear. This abrupt departure was the direct result of a snowballing, relentless campaign to get the series to boot Cierra off the show. The catalyst? Screenshots of Instagram posts that had recently resurfaced online, revealing Cierra using a deeply offensive racial slur. The word in question was chink, a derogatory term specifically used against people of Chinese and East Asian descent. The original usage from an Instagram story reportedly from February 2023 was undeniably ugly. But as the controversy unfolded, what has happened since in the realm of online reaction has proven to be even uglier. For much of this season of Love Island USA, the American version of the UK franchise, which finally became a sensation stateside last summer, Cierra had been a darling among the show's dedicated fan base. She was widely considered one of the most emotionally mature women in the villa, often praised for her calm demeanor and thoughtful approach to relationships. Alongside her romantic partner, Nick Van Steenbergen, she was seen as a clear front runner for the grand prize of $100,000 awarded to the couple who remains together until the end and wins the most votes from viewers. Her popularity was skyrocketing. She quickly gained hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, a statistic that, for many reality TV contestants, represents the true prize of the game, opening doors to lucrative influencer careers. Cierra appeared to be better positioned than ever for victory, even becoming the first girl this season to close off her coupling, making her relationship with Nick exclusive and shutting down the possibility of further romantic exploration with other islanders. However, a subtle sour note had begun creeping into the public's perception of Cierra even before the racial slur resurfaced. Her earlier decision to eliminate another popular fellow islander as part of a group vote, and her subsequent defense of that decision, began to chip away at her fan favorite status. Many viewers felt her defense encapsulated a thread of hypocrisy running throughout the villa this season, causing some fans to turn against Cierra and her two closest friends, whom viewers quickly dubbed the Mean Girls. This pre-existing shift in public opinion set the stage for the explosive reaction when the real bombshell dropped. It was into this swirling mass of existing fan drama that the truly devastating information was unleashed. Screenshots of old Instagram Posts showing Cierra using the racial slur. One Instagram story, reportedly from the stage in February 2023, showed Cierra discussing getting Botox, where she apparently wrote, "I can also be a little chinky when I laugh smile, so I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatch look." Another screenshot from an Instagram post dating back to 2005 showed Cierra smiling on a hill, captioned, "Still chinking even at the top." What's even more concerning, according to the Washington Post, are other circulating screenshots that suggested Cierra had been made aware of the derogatory nature of the term, yet as recently as 2024 was still using it. This raised serious questions about her awareness and accountability. The outcry against Cierra's continued presence on Love Island USA built up rapidly over the course of a week and a half, intensifying dramatically in the days leading up to Sunday's episode. Many viewers drew direct comparisons between the series' seemingly slow response to this use of an anti-Asian slur and the swift action taken after another contestant's use of the N-word on a podcast was brought to light. That contestant, Yulisa Escobar, was quietly ushered off the show before the season even finished its second episode. This stark disparity in responses sparked furious accusations that Peacock wasn't taking anti-Asian racism seriously, a cry that grew in volume and intensity with each passing day. The pressure on the show was immense. As the controversy raged, Cierra's burgeoning social media following began to plummet. She started losing social media followers en masse, a clear indication of her diminishing public support. Even a friend of hers, a fellow influencer who had been managing the contestant's Instagram page for the duration of the show, publicly disavowed Cierra and stepped down from handling her social media. The US Sun reported that Love Island USA producers were holding crisis meetings over the scandal, highlighting the severe internal pressure the show faced to address the escalating situation. Cierra leaving the show in Sunday's episode, given the circumstances, should have been the definitive end of this unfortunate saga. The problem was seemingly removed, but as the author of the article so accurately points out, it won't be the end. Because this scandal, like the many other controversies that have plagued this season of Love Island USA, has by this point taken on a cursed life of its own. The removal of the contestant didn't resolve the underlying ugliness that the controversy exposed. The article's author, an individual who has personally experienced the pain of anti-Asian racism, including being called chink and witnessing people perform the offensive slanted eye gesture, emphasizes their initial perspective. It seemed to me to be an open and shut case, since Love Island USA had established a direct precedent of yanking people for the usage of racial slurs. Then Cierra should be taken off the show. However, the longer the series seemed to ignore the backlash, the messier or more complex the situation became. What followed was a disturbing display of misplaced defenses and disturbing online behavior. Those on social media who chose to defend Cierra's use of the word argued that Cierra, who is Latina, may not have known that chink is derogatory against Asians. Even more alarmingly, many of these people claimed they didn't know, and as a matter of fact, still didn't see a problem with it. This revelation highlights a terrifying lack of awareness or willful ignorance regarding the impact of racial slurs, particularly those targeting Asian communities. It underscores a broader educational deficit concerning the history and contemporary impact of anti-Asian racism. Others use the opportunity to further stoke historical animosity between Black and Asian Americans. They insisted that there's no comparing the word chink and the N-word, scoffing that Asians already benefit too much from racial privilege to take offense to this. These arguments are not only deeply offensive, but also dangerously divisive, attempting to pit marginalized communities against each other and minimize the legitimate pain caused by racial slurs. The idea that any racial group benefits too much from racial privilege to experience racism is a deeply harmful and inaccurate notion. And the ugliness didn't end with misguided defenses. The direct consequences for Cierra and her family were severe. Her family, posting on the contestants' Instagram stories, heartbreakingly revealed that they have received threats and attacks This is where online outrage crosses a line from legitimate criticism into dangerous harassment. Cierra, who had been without access to her phone since the season began, will now be greeted with an overwhelming barrage of vitriol upon her. Return to the outside world. Much of the criticism earned, yes, but just as much of it not, as fans have inevitably taken things to the extreme. The author of the article, with stark honesty, acknowledges the complex motivations behind some of the online attacks. I'm not naive enough to pretend that all of Cierra's detractors sincerely care about Asian people and the discrimination they may face in the United States. This is a crucial point. Many are simply using this controversy as a convenient cover to snipe at a contestant they dislike for other reasons. Others, the author notes, are just genuinely unwell, part of a growing breed of online reality TV. Obsessive, who develops parasocial attachments and resentments, turning real people on a screen into two-dimensional icons to exalt or to tear down, to make fan videos of, or to go to war with. This toxic phenomenon is not isolated to Cierra Ortega's case. In just the past 2 days alone, different factions of Love Island USA diehards have taken to slamming another eliminated contestant for speaking negatively about her experience with a fellow Islander. Simultaneously, other fans have been relentlessly trying to dig up evidence that a remaining cast member had used racial slurs herself. This pattern reveals a disturbing trend, a relentless, almost predatory pursuit of scandal and character assassination within the online reality TV fandom. What we are left with in the wake of this latest controversy is, as the article states, sheer wreckage. Cierra Ortega faces a potentially much more harmful environment than she would have had Love Island USA simply kicked her off immediately when producers first caught wind of the racial slur usage. The delayed and vague response allowed the online vitriol to fester and escalate to an alarming degree. The psychological toll of such intense public shaming, harassment, and threats is immense. It's a sobering reminder that the stakes in reality television extend far beyond prize money or social media followers. The article chillingly reminds us of the dire consequences seen in the original Love Island in the UK, which has tragically witnessed 2 cases of contestants dying by suicide following their time on the show. This stark reality serves as a powerful illustration of how dire things can get when online mob mentality combines with the intense pressure of reality TV fame. It's a critical warning that cannot be ignored. In the aftermath, some viewers who now feel bad about Cierra's fate are once again insisting that the deployment of Chink isn't that offensive and not worth making this much of a fuss over, which, as the author correctly points out, is objectively the wrong lesson to take from this. Minimizing the impact of racial slurs, especially in the wake of such a public controversy, not only trivializes the pain of targeted communities, but also perpetuates the very ignorance that led to the incident. Others will derive a different, equally problematic takeaway. That fandom is combat, and any amount of dogpiling, digging up secrets, and sending death threats is fair game in the trenches. This is a dangerous narrative that normalizes abusive behavior and transforms online communities into battlegrounds where empathy and critical thinking are abandoned in favor of aggressive, often anonymous attacks. The author concludes with a poignant reflection on the evolution of reality television. Most of us can remember a time when watching reality TV was still fun, but something has changed, and not for the better. This statement resonates with many viewers who feel that the joy and escapism of reality TV have been overshadowed by its dark underbelly. Maybe we were never meant to be able to directly reach Rob, 27, snake wrangler from Alabama, with the tap of a finger after getting mad at something he did on our television screens. Maybe at the end of each episode, we were always supposed to turn off the TV and get back to reality. This powerful closing thought is a call for greater mindfulness in our consumption of reality media and our engagement in online spaces. It urges us to remember the humanity behind the screens and to restore a sense of proportion and empathy in our interactions, both online and off. The Cierra Ortega controversy serves as a stark, urgent reminder that the lines between entertainment, real life, and online toxicity have become dangerously blurred, and it's time for a collective reckoning. And that's the deeply unsettling, yet incredibly important story of Cierra Ortega and the dark side of reality TV fandom. It's a powerful reminder for all of us to consider the real-world impact of our online actions. We'll be keeping a close watch on how these conversations evolve. Until next time, stay mindful, stay kind, and we'll see you then.